Remember when J.D. Vance talked about Vice President Kamala Harris not having any children, and she was unfit to become president of the United States because she is a childish woman? Remember all that garbage that he spewed? Well, let's talk about the childless GOP candidate who posed with his friend's wife and kids for a fake campaign video. Tyrone Bowman live. Now let's have this conversation. The unmitigated gall, the audacity, the outright hypocrisy of the Republicans and Donald Trump. It's okay for this lying GOP candidate to use somebody else's wife and kids. Just put him up here. I'll give you his name in a few moments. He's a Republican, Derek Anderson, who is running for Virginia's 7th Congressional District. And he poses in a photo with a family that is not his. Turned it into a campaign ad to make it appear like he is a family man. In fact, he's a bachelor with a dog. No children, never been married. Yes, let's put his face up here for a minute. Let's talk about this hypocrite, this deceiver, this manipulator. And I found another article about him that I'm going to read as well. A Republican running for office in Virginia apparently wanted to give voters the impression he's a family man after using an image of himself with a woman and her 3 children for his campaign. Derek Anderson, a former Army Green Beret, is running for an open seat in Virginia's 7th District. Anderson was featured in a New York Times article on Friday headlined, "GOP candidate looking to soften their image turn to their wives." What a lie. The man's not even married. He has no children. But it's okay with Trump and Vance, though, because he's on their team. It's okay for him to be a confirmed bachelor. It's okay for him to have a fake lying campaign ad with another man's wife and children and to pretend like they're his. But it's not okay for Vice President Kamala Harris, who has two daughters that she came into when they were married, 2 children. But it's not okay for her to be a mother. But it's okay for this hypocrite to act like he's a husband. The article discusses the GOP's push to be seen as the family values party in a year when reproductive health care access has become a focal point among voters. Anderson's campaign used footage of the candidate posing with a woman and her 3 daughters in what could easily be mistaken for a family photo shoot, as the Times article discusses. That's what it was intended for, no matter how many times the New York Times tries to spin it. It's a fake campaign ad, and he's a faker. Anderson's campaign used footage. So the woman and 3 girls featured in the video, which was uploaded to Anderson's YouTube channel and posted on a website paid for by the National Republican Campaign Committee. They paid for this lying ad. Or instead the family of one of Anderson's longtime friends. Anderson announced earlier this month that he is engaged and lives alone with his dog. Per the Times, he has no kids. Then what the heck are you trying to act like that you are a family values man for when you have no family? And you want women to believe that you're concerned about women's reproductive rights. He's a liar. In a separate scene filmed for a possible campaign ad, Anderson is seen sitting around a dining room table with the same woman and 3 girls, the Times reported. deception. Now watch how they try to spin this. A spokesperson for Anderson told the Times that the footage simply shows Anderson posing with female supporters and their kids. That's a lie, and you know it's a lie. It's intended to make people subconsciously believe that this man is a family values-oriented candidate with a wife and 3 children. That's what it was designed for, and that's why the Republican National Committee paid for it. A spokesperson for Anderson told the Times that the footage, blah, blah, blah. Derek's opponent and every other candidate in America are in similar pictures and video with supporters of all kinds. The spokesperson said that's a lie too. Don't try to justify his deception. The man is a liar. In a follow-up statement to HuffPost, a spokesperson for Anderson called it a normal campaign video. No, it's not. The false, politically motivated reporting on Derek, who is happily engaged and very proud of / vocal about his family, appearing in a normal campaign video with female supporters and their kids, is both hilarious, as the spokesperson said in the email. Just like all the trash and garbage that Donald Trump spewed in his first year in office, he said, oh, he doesn't mean that, he doesn't understand. He was a grown 60-something-year-old man at that time, and he knew exactly what he was saying. He knew exactly what he was doing. Just like he's a grown 78-year-old, soon to be 79-year-old man, and he knows what he's doing now. And they have to be called out on their malicious lies. The statement also took aim at Anderson's opponent in the race, Eugene Vidman, a retired Army colonel who once raised concerns about Donald Trump's actions toward Ukraine during the Republicans' presidency. So what? Trump can be criticized. He's not God Almighty. Y'all think he's God. He's not Jesus Christ. He's not the Messiah. He's a man. Derek's opponent and every other candidate in America are in similar photos and pictures, videos with supporters of all kinds, and features similar shots in his own campaign videos talking about his opponent. See, y'all trying to get the heat off of y'all behinds because you got caught. Now listen to this. Anderson celebrated the overturning of Roe versus Wade in 2022, posting on Twitter that SCOTUS finally got it right and overturned a 50-year-old decision of federalizing abortions. Republicans have had abortions too. Did you hear what I said? Republicans have had abortions too. Stop trying to make it look like that this is a Democratic issue. No. The word abortion is neither Democrat nor Republican. The photo portraying Anderson as a family man may have been his campaign's attempt to skirt around one of the GOP's recent talking points that childless pet owners have less of a stake in the country's future than parents. Well, he's a childless pet owner, and I don't believe he's engaged. I believe it's a lie, too. And don't forget, J.D. Vance blasted the childless left in 2021 remarks, adding that Vice President Kamala Harris is one of the childless cat ladies who are miserable. Vice President Kamala Harris is not miserable. You're miserable. J.D. Vance is miserable. Trump is miserable. The entire GOP, Republican Party, is miserable. That's why you are all grasping, saying and doing anything in an attempt to try to win this election. And Trump is trying to steal the election, and he's not going to be able to steal it. Nada. Not going to happen. So, Derek Anderson is a fraud. Derek Anderson is a liar. Derek Anderson is a manipulator. Derek Anderson is a con artist, just like the rest of them. Never surrender, never quit.